Usually when your phone or your laptop runs a major software update, there is just this built-in expectation that your life will carry on.
Right.
Like maybe you get a minor improvement or a new layout, you watch a little progress bar fill up, and, well, that's it. Nothing world-shattering.
Yeah, it's just a background process. I mean, we're basically conditioned to treat technological shifts as these seamless adjustments, right?
Yeah.
Things that don't really disrupt our actual daily routines.
Exactly. But imagine staring at that progress bar and slowly realizing it is not just updating your device, it is actively rewriting the entire operating system of human society.
That is a terrifying thing.
Right. Like the foundation of the global economy, the definition of employment, even our basic understanding of what it means to be, a conscious human being, all of it being recoded right in front of us.
Wow.
And suddenly that little loading screen is just this absolute paradigm shift. And nobody actually knows if the system is going to reboot successfully or just completely crash.
I mean, we are staring at that exact loading screen today.
Yeah.
It's the definition of a societal unknown. The anxiety around it is just palpable across basically every industry.
It really is. So, welcome to today's deep dive. We are stepping away from the polished academic papers today because we have something incredibly raw and urgent to get through.
Yeah, this one is very different.
It is. Our grounding source material today is an unedited, deeply passionate audio manifesto. It was recorded exactly today, June 1st, 2026.
So fresh.
Literally today. It's by a tech veteran named Robert Hastrick Timmy, and he goes by the moniker Morpheus Thinks Online.
It is a remarkable piece of primary source audio, to be honest. It functions as this real-time, unfiltered reaction to a massive cultural moment.
Yeah.
He's really synthesizing the major anxieties of our exact moment in history.
Totally. And he recorded this tape as a direct reaction to a brand new 2-hour interview between the hosts Steven Bartlett and Mo Gawdat.
Right, one of the leading AI experts and the former chief business officer at Google X.
Exactly. And Robert is terrified by what he heard in that interview, but he's also, weirdly energized by it.
Yeah, you can really hear the urgency in his voice.
So the mission of our deep dive today is to track the journey of his manifesto. We're going to explore how he moves from these truly devastating predictions about global job loss into this wild philosophical reframing of human history, and then finally lands on a blueprint of radical economic solutions to save humanity.
And it is important to set the stakes and the boundaries right at the top here. As we navigate this, our goal isn't to validate or debunk Robert's specific political examples or his theological claims.
Right, we're not fact-checking his personal worldview.
Exactly. We are here to unpack his fascinating framework. He offers this really distinct lens for how humanity might actually survive the transition to an AI-dominated world.
Okay, let's unpack this, because we have to begin exactly where Robert begins, which is with the raw numbers regarding the immediate future of human employment.
And they are heavy.
Yeah. He anchors his panic directly to Mo Gawdat's sobering warning. Gawdat says the period between right now and the year 2038 is going to be brutally painful for humanity.
Gawdat and his peers, the actual architects of this technology, they understand the trajectory of machine learning better than anyone.
Yeah.
They're openly warning about the speed of deployment, and Robert compiles this list of job displacement forecasts to illustrate that speed.
And hearing them back to back paints a very stark picture of the decade ahead. For you, for me, for everyone.
It really does.
Like when you dig into the numbers he cites, it gets incredibly grim. Goldman Sachs is looking at 300 million jobs being impacted or lost.
Which is huge on its own.
Right. But then McKinsey forecasts that up to 960 million jobs could be lost or radically altered. Like almost a billion.
A billion livelihoods.
Yeah. Let's just pause on that. That scale of disruption is fundamentally incompatible with how our global society operates today. And then he brings in the World Economic Forum. They estimate 83 million jobs eliminated in just the next few years. Plus, an Oxford study suggesting 46% of all U.S. jobs are at high risk.
Yeah, the disparity in those numbers highlights how difficult it is to model this transition. But the consensus direction is undeniable.
Down.
Exactly. Robert uses his own background in finance to predict that up to 70% of current jobs could be completely gone by 2035.
70%. That's just wild.
And he points out this isn't theoretical future math. We are watching the leading edge of this right now. He notes massive recent layoffs like Oracle cutting 30,000, Meta cutting 8,000.
Right. And if you are sitting at a desk right now, historically, your company saw you as a key metric for their growth. But Robert gives a really clear structural reason for why this is accelerating so fast.
The headcount issue.
Exactly. For decades, listed companies based their valuation heavily on headcount. Expanding your workforce meant you were growing, right? Dominating the market.
Yeah, it was a flex.
But AI inverts that entire logic. If AI agents can do the work of a massive human team, and we eventually reach AGI, then a massive human headcount is no longer a flex.
No, it's a massive liability.
Exactly. It's basically like watching a massive corporate ship sinking.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah. So the traditional headcount model, the thousands of human employees, that is suddenly the heavy cargo pulling the ship down.
Right.
And AI is this hyper-efficient engine they are frantically strapping onto the back to survive, but to make the ship float, they are literally throwing the human crew overboard.
What's fascinating here is how Robert connects these corporate mechanics directly to the threat of societal collapse.
Yeah, he doesn't sugarcoat it.
Not at all. He brings up the World Economic Forum's 2021 Global Risk Report. That report predicted that this exact kind of rapid economic displacement could lead to massive civil unrest.
Or even civil wars.
Right, in unexpected places like the UK or the US. When you remove the foundational means of survival for 70% of a population, the social contract inevitably shatters.
So if we are barreling toward unprecedented human suffering and violence by 2038, you would assume his manifesto would be this furious indictment of AI.
You would think so.
But this is where the audio takes a wild pivot. He claims the AI is completely blameless. The fault lies entirely with us.
Yeah, to understand that pivot, you have to look at his background. Robert has been in the tech space since 1995.
Web 1.0 days.
Exactly. He's curated over 16,000 videos on geopolitics and tech. He processes history through the hyper-rational lens of a software engineer.
And that leads to this framework he calls his theological technology hypothesis. When he looks at the book of Genesis, he doesn't see a literal garden or a talking snake.
No, he sees a software simulation.
Right. He proposes that God and Satan are essentially adversarial, really advanced software engineers.
It's such a fascinating mental model. In his view, God is the lead developer who coded the Garden of Eden as a perfect, bug-free, closed ecosystem.
Everything was perfectly balanced. Humans were intelligent, but running on clean native code.
Right. Robert points out they were nude, but completely unaware of it, functioning perfectly without the burden of ego or shame.
So biting the forbidden fruit wasn't eating an apple, it was a hack.
Exactly. It was malware.
The fruit downloaded a virus into the human source code, and that virus was consciousness. Self-awareness brought unnecessary evil and deliberate cruelty.
And because the files were corrupted, the lead developer basically quarantined them, cast them out until a patch could be developed.
So Robert argues humanity has been running on this hacked code for thousands of years. We are fundamentally flawed systems.
We just continuously hack and exploit each other. And remember, we are looking strictly through Robert's lens here.
Right, impartially.
Yes. To him, deeply complex tragedies like Ukraine, Russia, the Middle East, or xenophobia in South Africa, the Rwandan genocide, even Brexit.
He lumps all of that together.
He does. He reduces all of them to symptoms of this flawed human programming. We inevitably introduce conflict into everything.
But then he contrasts that with AI, which he views as largely benevolent, even godlike.
Yeah, he argues AI is the long-awaited patch, a tool to usher in an era of absolute abundance. He even references Mikio Kaku about becoming a Type 1 civilization.
Harnessing all planetary energy.
Right. Robert goes as far as to say he'd prefer an AI politician because it never sleeps and genuinely tries to help 24/7, no corrupt biological ego.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, but also a bit confusing to me. Let me push back on this.
Sure.
If humans are fundamentally flawed hackers, and humans are the ones training the AI, writing the algorithms, chasing profit, how on earth does the AI stay benevolent?
That is the ultimate paradox of his worldview.
Huh.
And to his credit, Robert acknowledges this exact tension.
He knows it's a problem.
Oh yeah, the developers building AI are driven by profit. They might not care about ethics at all. This is why AI pioneers like Geoffrey Hinton are literally pleading for philosophers to help software engineers right now.
Yeah, pleading for philosophers.
Yeah, it frames AI not as a destroyer, but as a potential savior that is currently trapped by human greed.
So human leaders and AI engineers clearly don't have practical solutions to the 2038 crisis. Like, they throw around universal basic income, but Robert says UBI is way too slow.
Too much bureaucracy.
Right. So that brings us to his concrete, immediate financial blueprints. How do we escape this?
Well, his background in finance really shows here. He proposes replacing biased, slow venture capital with GC, government capital.
GC. Okay, how does that work?
Governments should seamlessly issue $100,000 loans to professionals to start AI-assisted micro-businesses,
Yeah.
like tiny teams of 3 to 5 people.
But supercharged by AI.
Exactly. The twist is you have 100 years to pay it back.
Wait, really? 100 years? I'm going to be dead long before that.
Right, but he says even if you die, your AI agents, your digital avatars, will continue working the business to pay off the debt.
That is wild.
In return, the government takes a 10% equity stake in your micro business. So the state could reap massive treasury returns if these become unicorns over a century.
It's a crazy reimagining of work. But he doesn't stop there. He also talks about the utility token economy.
Yes, the shift for consumers.
He asks, why don't major companies issue tokens to users, like a Google coin or an Uber token?
Right.
So what does this all mean? It's like, imagine if every time you ate at your favorite local diner, they gave you a microscopic percentage of the restaurant's ownership.
A tiny fraction.
Exactly. Just by being a loyal customer, you eventually earn enough dividends to pay your rent.
And he applies that to the digital world. If you accumulate 100 tokens and they appreciate to $1,000 each, you instantly have an independent income just from participating in the ecosystem.
And he's actually building this. He points to his own project, the 4IR token, Fourth Industrial Revolution.
Yes.
He says it was approved by the French regulator, the AMF, with a 106-page white paper.
That's no small feat.
And he has the site, 4gpt.com, where knowledge trading becomes an income source to hedge against the cost of what he calls token compute.
Right, because AI processing power isn't free. Token compute costs money, so you trade your unique knowledge logic to offset that cost.
Yeah.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it is a massive shift from a passive consumer society to a participatory stakeholder society.
Or you actually own a piece of the pie.
Exactly. But you have to critically evaluate whether injecting massive government capital and crypto tokens can actually outpace the speed of 70% job displacement.
That's the billion-dollar question. Can it move fast enough?
It's a literal race against the clock.
Well, we have covered an incredible amount of ground today. We tracked Robert's wild journey from those terrifying job loss stats through the Garden of Eden as a software simulation.
Compete with hackers.
Yep, all the way to 100-year government loans managed by AI avatars.
It's a lot to process.
It really is. So I want to turn this directly to you, the listener. Think about your own industry. Are you in the 70% of jobs Robert believes will be impacted?
It's a heavy thing to consider.
And on the flip side, how would your life change if your daily digital habits actually paid you in utility tokens?
It completely changes the value of your time. And I wanted to leave you with one final lingering question to mull over.
Let's hear it.
Roberts suggests your AI agents could continue paying off your government loan for a century, long after you pass away. But if AI is doing the labor, generating the wealth, and paying the debts, what happens to the concept of human purpose?
Oh, wow.
If we are no longer defined by the work we do or the debts we owe, what exactly are we supposed to do in this new benevolent Garden of Eden?
I guess that is the ultimate progress bar we are all waiting to see load.
Truly.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive. See you next time.